You are watching the Global Gamers Invitational Tournament brought to you by iFixit. SCVs for the real world. The Handsome Nerd attire for the handsomest of nerds. And Esports United, sponsored by Intel. This broadcast is also made possible by CapochP, TeamLiquid.net, and of course, Blizzard Entertainment. Hello everyone and welcome back. This is the Global Gamers Invitational. I am Mac here with Railcoon of CapochP, and we are bringing you what is Game 4 between TT1 and Capoch, Protoss versus Protoss. This is the round of 8. Winner will be moving on to the semifinals, and the semifinals, a big deal because there's a lot of prizes available to whoever wins those and goes to the finals. Those prizes provided, of course, by iFixit SCVs for the real world. Esports United, sponsored by Intel. And of course, the Handsome Nerd attire for the handsomest of nerds. So you were just talking about this. Of course, TT1 is seeing a very clear pattern emerging from Capoch's style of play, and probably picking this map as a conscious response to that. So what do you think about Zelmega Watch Caverns as an anti-4-gate map?
I don't know. It's anti kind of to the style that we've seen from Capoch so far. The way that when we saw Kiwikaki do 4 warp gates, this was like the only map he pulled it off on against Huck. So there are different ways he can do the 4 warp gates. The type that Capoch does, where he just 4 warp gates, makes a ton of units, rams them straight up your ramp, and tries to freaking kill you. This is a good map for it, because the rush distance is just a little bit longer. If you can sneak a probe out and hide a pylon somewhere, you'll be able to do what he did on Metalopolis, where he sneaks a couple units into Capoch's base. You can see he's checking around for proxies in particular. But what happens is, what's dangerous on this map is if your opponent places a pylon down at the bottom of the ramp just right away from the cliff, you can get this little sliver of power up onto the high ground, just enough to warp in 4 zealots. And then those run in, they start trying to take out the stalkers and the sentries. And usually that creates enough of a distraction to get the rest of your army up the cliff and do a bunch of damage. So on this map in particular, that type of 4 warp gate's really strong, but we haven't seen Capoch really try any of those sorts of strategies. And just to make it perfectly clear, his Nexus energy is stockpiling like usual, so it does appear as if he's going to go for that 4 warp gate once again.
Now, one thing that could be slightly different, in case you didn't catch this live on the stream, Capoch did gank the probe of TT1. It got really confident, walked through the mineral line, and Capoch just converged from every side and tore it apart in mere moments. So strictly speaking, TT1 will not know for certain what Capoch is doing unless he caught sight of that energy.
Yeah, so here comes the extra gateways from Capoch. I mean, at this point, TT1's got to assume that's what's going to happen. So if anything, the mix-ups from Capoch would probably be the strongest in this game, because it's 2-1. He's done it 3 games in a row. He's picked a map with, the 4 warp gate in mind. He even has the reputation. People say, oh, Capoch, all he ever does is 4 warp gate. That's not true anymore. He's doing it in this series. Possibly because it's PvP, and 4 warp gates can be pretty strong in PvP.
Now, Capoch did sneak a pylon in. Unfortunately, TT1's sentry found the probe, and consequently is now finding the pylon. But he's warping in another one outside, another one inside. He's getting ready to engage full tilt. And meanwhile, TT1 has opted for that faster robotics facility, the 3-gate robotics facility, very effective last game. Of course, it was effective. This particular build was effective the first 2 games. That's the one he won. But Capoch is inside, now engaging. His pylon is intact, trying to get that sentry down to deny the force fields. He's even using his probe. And probe's, of course, really effective when you've only got 2 or 3 units. But we have more
and that
units.
Sentry's got 1 health. Oh, and it goes down.
Does get it. It's now 3 zealots to 2. TT1 in full retreat. He has an immortal coming soon, and that will change everything. But now Capoch can get probes. He is forced to retreat, trying to engage only those nice squishy things, and he is doing an awful lot of damage, putting TT1 very far behind. Like I said, that immortal almost there. One thing TT1 is not doing is he was late turning that gateway into a warp gate. There it is now. Immortal's out, 2nd warp gate on the way, but Capoch is going to be warping in so many units.
Yeah, he's got 3 pylons basically set up in a huge triangle. There's no way TT1 can take them all out. Anywhere that TT1 is, he can warp in on the opposite side of the base and start doing damage. So at this point, it's pretty much over. Capoch has gotten inside. There's no way TT1 can really shut it down. And he's just going to have to GG here in a moment. Pick another map. And I don't know what was going on there. We were talking about how he had to have been expecting the 3-gate, the 4-gate, and he let the probe up the ramp. And, he got that pylon down, and then he got another one down. At that point, that's exactly what Capoch wanted. So, actually, it's all tied up. And now we're going on to game number 5.
And it is, of course, match point. So we are on our last game, and it should be an exciting game. Maybe we will see a long one, but odds are we won't. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. So be sure you stick around. We'll have that in just a moment.